there was this time that I was actually on radio and I had to call out a particular, the road towards for people that live along that axis. Yeah, around before you get to the Cotton roundabout, the road had, cut into two. So people were just using one road, and it was becoming really difficult for people who were living around there. And I had the opportunity of passing through there. I had to like continuously call this out on radio. But I'm glad to see that they worked on that so that people could now use the both sides of the road. I even got to see that they're trying to work on the drainage that links the road as well into the market. So I think they're finally doing something, especially as the rainy season is approaching.
But some of the areas that I went to, it doesn't look like anybody's doing anything. But I mean, I'm just saying what I saw. But
we can only look forward to them doing
something.
So
we'll keep talking about the things that are not working and also celebrating
Yes.
the things that are working. So we don't just say nay. No, we talk about them both sides.
Mm.
So it is a new week. I'm excited for this new week. And this week, my mantra, I'm saying peace. Like, I'm going in peace, regardless of whatever is happening around me or everything. I'm choosing to just focus on the things that are actually working, the things that are not working. I don't want to talk about them. I don't want to see them really. But I mean, in this life that we live in, it's just very easy for you to talk about the bad things, talk about the things that are not working and just complain.
Yes.
But it saps all of your energy and it's draining. I'm not sure I want to do that this week. I mean, I don't want to do that this week. I don't know what you're doing this week, but I don't want to do that this week, really.
And also better still having a better perspective to things that you see too. That can save us the whole stress.
Yeah, true. I think a lot of people need to form their own opinion and not just follow what everybody's saying. That's one too is something to look at for. All right, let's look at the different headlines this morning across different Nigerian newspapers. Today is Monday, April 8th, 2024. And on the Punch newspapers, we have federal government plans 3 national ID cards for 104 million Nigerians in June. I saw this one over the weekend. I'm like, okay. Now me know what my eyes see when we go do NIN and the others. So this time around, well, let's just see what the federal government has coming. Still on the Punch newspapers, federal government declares Tuesday and Wednesday Salah holidays. Tinubu arrives Lagos. This one for people who have the holidays, I'm excited for you. I celebrate with you.
We hail you.
Still on the Punch newspapers, troops comb forest as terrorists kill lieutenant in Borno. This is sad. Female London to Lagos solo driver gets heroic welcome. Yes, congratulations to her. I mean, that's no small
That was huge, Pelumi.
It is a lot, really. On the Punch newspapers, still gunmen demand 50 million naira ransom for abducted Taraba varsity student. We're still on this one. Over to the Vanguard.
Yes, on the Vanguard newspaper this morning, cultists kill vigilante member in River State. Protests against hotelier soldier over killing of youth in Imo. Ramadan, 9 die, 30 injured at sharing of Salah packages. This is really sad. Eid al-Fitr, Sultan asks Muslims to look out for new moon. Delta Corps member dies in Ogun loan accident. Sad.
Yeah, it is. On this day newspapers, Indian-bound passenger caught with 80 wraps of ingested harmful substance. National Assembly to review Armed Forces Security Act to ensure gender equity. EduCash, Ogun State earmarks 3.5 billion naira for 150,000 beneficiaries. Healthcare delivery is people's right and not privilege, says First Lady Remi Tinubu. Over to Daily Trust.
Yes, on the Daily Trust newspaper, Ogun PDP to recall suspended leaders ahead of 2027 poll. Youth unemployment, others causing economic challenges in West Africa. Benway Investment Company gets ISO certification. Nigerians in UAE stranded over work permit visa ban. NNPP is best alternative for Nigerians, says Kwankwaso.
All right. On the Guardian newspapers, police officers face sanction for demanding bribe from Lagos drone operator. I saw this video and I'm like, a lot of these police officers, really, I think the conversations that we get to have or like the instruction from top to them, maybe they don't get it. It feels like there's some kind of disconnect because that video that I saw, like we've come. I mean, we've actually gone past all of these kind of conversations, but this is what we still have, really. Still on the Guardian newspapers, gunmen kill vigilante and members in Port Harcourt. Steel Council, Minister to investigate alleged breach of board dissolution order. Address security challenge to avert hunger in Nigeria. Akinfewa urges government. Over to the nation.
On the Nation newspaper, gunmen kill 2 in Niger community. Police arrest 3 wanted suspects in Lagos. Gunmen attack lawmaker's home in Makurdi. Kogi attack. Ododo expresses shock over killings, vows to prevent reoccurrence. And this is coming from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, building Nigeria brick by brick.
And finally, on the pen pushing newspapers, terrorist ambush troops kill army officer and soldier. I don't know, this conversation in recent times about the involvement of the military, army officers with communities, civilians, then the officers being killed, or something really needs to be done in this regard. Like, let's just stick to what has been provided for us according to the Constitution. This interactions of the military with civilians and all of that, like, they're just becoming one too many. When you look at the different headlines we've looked at this morning, they're like different accounts of soldiers losing their life in the course of having to exchange or interact with civilians. And also, we as a people as well, we need to do better. We also need to do better in our interactions. Yes, I know that things can escalate. Our conversations will not be the same because they approach things differently than we would. And there's no place of, oh, be patient, let's calm down, look at this. And they always want to exercise that power and authority that they have. So we need to call ourselves to order. I would say. Yes, we really need to. We need to.
Yes, I also feel that there has to be that possibly reorientation on exactly who these organizations are, security agencies are, and how our relationship with them should be. Because, you know, over time, I remember growing up, I used to hear police is our friend. And then all of a sudden, people start being scared of police people because they feel, they're going to intimidate me and all. So there's this agitation when you are met with a security personnel, like, of course, this person wants to take advantage of me, they want to stop money from me, and that aggression there is no understanding
even before they speak to you, and it's a problem in itself.
And there could actually be people who are not that way, some police officials, but they get to pay for, you know, the actions of the others. So I feel like that reorientation has to go on deep down. They need to begin to rebrand in a way that makes it appealing for the society to know and community people to know that it's a collaboration.
Yeah, true. I agree totally. I agree. The phone lines are open 07000 917 917, or you can send us a text or a WhatsApp message on 070 317 56537. We have joining us now. We have Adeyemi Adeolu, our first analyst this morning. Good morning, Adeyemi, and I hope that you turned off your freezer before joining us this morning.
Good morning, Esther and Miracle.
Yes, good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm good.
Thank you very much for joining us. We're doing great. Thank you.
My pleasure.
All right. So we go into the headlines this morning and just look at the different reports that we can find. And Miracle starting off.
Yes, we'll start off with this particular one here. It's coming from the federal government on its plans to introduce 3 national ID cards for 104 million Nigerians by June. You know, Nigerians would actually sit down and say, every time our government is always looking for something to put us under high tension, because it's always about going here and here. We're talking about, we've had issues with getting in, some people having their lines barred, the difficulty in having that sorted out. I remember having to go check one of my lines as well, and surprisingly I had linked my line with my name, only to hear that my name is carrying another person. In fact, when they had to go through the entire process, I had to say, okay, just, you can take the card, I don't need the line again. So you see those difficulties in trying to get these things sorted out. Now the government is to launch 3 new national identity cards in May this year, and has a target of providing this to 104 million citizens across the country. Now, the 3 new national identity cards planned by the National Identity Management Commission includes a bank-enabled national ID card, a social intervention card, and optional ECOWAS national biometric identity card. Now, The technical advisor, media and communication to the Director General of the NIMC, Ayodele Babalola, who disclosed this, said Nigerians would start getting the 3 national ID cards within 1 or 2 months of the launch. Now, Adeyemi, I'll throw this to you. Do you see the feasibility of this going through? I mean, this is gotten off from the Punch newspaper, owing to the fact that we are not even, there have been questions around the real population of Nigerians and how data can be, gotten.
Harmonized, because I'm thinking we have the NIN, we have the BVN.
Yes.
Some people have their passport, some people have driver's license, and there's some people who actually have everything. Like, you have all of this that we've mentioned, and we're still having to look at introducing three new
more
cards, and people would have to go and queue, generating data here and there. What happened to harmonizing data? But let's hear what Adeyemi has to say.
Thank you very much, Esther Miracle. Concerning these 3 new cards, it's uncalled for in the first instance, because when you look at it, all what the functions and the duty and all that is going to cater for is already what the BVN and the N9 card also already cater for. So why do we have to duplicate effort? You see, what I see in this case is that some people in the government also, like everybody always want to bring up idea to sell that so that they can see them as being, up and doing. I think that's what is happening in this case, because we're talking about banking transactions and everything. That's the essence of the BVN in the first instance. And talking about identification for all Nigerians, that's the reason for the NIN, so that you can be verified, your location can be tracked. These are the reason for all this. So why do we? Because you are saying because of you want to meet the vulnerables, you want to make provision for them. There are so many ways by which you can make provision for the vulnerables. And also, who are the vulnerables that we talk about? What has constituted to these vulnerable people you're talking about? Is it not the state of the economy that has subjected everybody to the state that everybody is more like a pauper in this country? What is important that the government needs to do is to look into the area. How can they lift Nigerians out of this poverty level that they have been subjected to? And the only way they can do that is by making sure that they create an economic enabling environment where businesses can thrive, where people can have one thing or the other to lay their hands on and do as a business or whatever you want to call it, where businesses can operate without power failure, where petroleum products prices goes down. You see, these are the measures that the government needs to do. It's not for them to continue to give to Nigerians as if Nigerians are beggars. Nigerians are hardworking men and women. Even when you look at it, looking at Africa as a place, you find out, because I remember vividly one of my wives, some of my wife's colleagues who actually were South Africans, that came into Nigeria to school in the days of ANC. They told my wife that they've gone virtually everywhere in Africa, and they are able to tell that Nigerians and even Nigerian women are the up and doing women that they surpasses all other women in the continent of Africa. That other women are laid back in Africa, but Nigerian women are in the forefront. They are business women. They are industrialists. So as it is, what the government should do, it is not to continue to give us fish. They should allow us to have access to the ocean to fish ourselves. And the only way they can do that is for them to create that enabling environment where businesses can thrive. They let them make sure that the power works. If I tell you, if there is power 24/7, all businesses that have gone down the drain, they will come up again. Even those who have left the shores of Nigeria will return back again. And so many factors that they needed to look into, rather than them saying that we must, they want to create new cars. No, we don't need it. We don't need these new cars. And they should not just come up with ideas. What they should do is that before these things, before they ever bring up the idea or they want to implement it, there should be some forum where people will be consulted. Nigerians need to be consulted. When you want to take decisions concerning Nigerians, you need to consult us. You don't just come up with one idea and said, you are selling this to us. You must consult us. We must be able to look at it critically and holistically and see whether it is good for us or not. Then why do we have to continue to duplicate effort? Why do we have to continue to waste money unnecessarily? When this money that you want to invest into these 3 cards, you can actually invest into other sectors that will make the economy to work. And also, in the course of reading the news, the headlines, I discovered that even after you have done all the processing, you are still going to pay some charges to the bank. For what? For what? What are they trying to do? Well, it is not something that is not a welcome idea, actually. Let me be honest. That's my own opinion. I'm not in support of it because already we have the BVN, which caters for whatever transaction you have to do with the bank. Then you have the NIN, an identification number that anywhere you go, it will give out your details. So what else again? If they want to tell us, okay, they want they are introducing because of the vulnerable people that they have said, they can as well harmonize it with the BVN. And of course, they are saying that the people don't have bank accounts. Yes, if they don't have bank accounts, there are ways to go about it. There are local governments. There are wards that are close to these people. Let them go to the local government. Let it be the local government affair, not the federal government affair, because those are the people that are closer to the masses. So let it be the local government affair instead of the government interlooping into what is not their business. They should forget it. Let us live. Enough of the problem that we are being encumbered with. You can imagine the stress people go through when they are going for their NIN registration. Do you know that a lot of people are still there, still trying to register for NIN? And yet you want to come up with an idea. One thing we should understand, there is no way. Let's look at it. They said by June, about 104 million people will have had this card. How possible is that? We remember vividly the case of NIN when they started there. When they said in 3 months, they gave us a deadline. But in 3 months, they were not able to achieve it. So now talk about the one that you want to achieve in less than 2 months. It's not possible. We should stop deceiving ourselves. Some people just see it as an avenue to make money. That's what the Mr. President needs to look into. Mr. President is an accountant. And I believe that accountants are prudent people. So it should be prudent with our economy. It should be prudent with the resources that we have. It should be prudent with these our funds that we all are crying for that we don't have. That is not all encompassing. It should be prudent with it. They should just stop spending the Nigerian resources anyhow. They should stop that.
All right. Thank you very much, Adiemi, for your thoughts right there. There's some reaction here on this report, and we have one from the Chief Executive Officer of Hyperspace, Oluseyi Akindeyinde, and he says the planned initiative is just a duplication of effort and a waste of resources, adding that the purpose of the new cards were currently being fulfilled by existing platforms. According to him, it's just a duplication of effort and waste of funds, really. Another expert here having to look at this one from Chooks Jeremy says this expansive database, yes, we need such database. It's a welcome development, but he doesn't think that we have the technological capacity to effectively implement such. And on the card that would enable people to transact, there should be an expansive database to implement this initiative. And also, our cyber framework is not the best. We don't seem to care enough about data privacy, even though we've made some progress. And when we talk about data privacy in Nigeria, it's still a conversation that I kind of feel like we're still far away from miracle, because you beg to wonder how sometimes some banks that you don't even have an account with, they get to send you messages. And I'm wondering, like, I don't even have anything to do with you. Then some people also will get your numbers from where you don't know, send you calls and call you, send you messages and all of that. And I'm just wondering, like, how exactly is it that my data is being compromised? And we as Nigerians, we don't pay attention enough. There's some institutions that you have to do stuff with. You don't know what framework is guiding them. You don't know if they have like policies that they align to that actually allows for them to protect your data. We don't have that. So you just go duplicating and having multiple platforms here and there without even being able to protect the integrity of what you currently have. I mean, harmonizing this data would not be something so difficult where you have to now start taking out time to go and register for. I don't know how this is going to work, but I'm sure the federal government has something figured out.
Our data privacy. I remember there was a particular account, a particular bank that an account was opened for me, and I was like, I don't understand. I don't remember opening an account with this bank. I went to the bank, and till now they've not resolved that issue, and money is piling up, and they're telling me I will pay for that.
And how is that supposed to be a thing?
I was even like, I want to get this sorted. They told me to go to the branch where it was open. So I'm like, how? So
what I don't understand,
who infringed on my privacy? Because I never ever visited that bank to open an account. It's just too bad. It's too bad.
Well, that's what we have to deal with, really. But we'll just keep talking about this. I mean, people have been reacting to this one, saying it's just duplication of effort, wasteful resources. At this time, we're just having to there's going to be like a level of funds that's going to be allocated for all of this. And we're still having to talk about some Nigerians who are unable to cope with the current economic realities. And these funds probably could be channeled into palliatives, even though we know very well that even the palliatives haven't necessarily worked or helped Nigerians achieve that level of ease that we want to see. But yes, we'll still keep talking about it. The phone lines are open 07000 917 917, or you can send us a text or a WhatsApp message on 070 56537. My name is Esther Alaribe, and I am here this morning with
Miracle Philip.
And our analyst this morning, I'm speaking to Adeyemi Adeolu. Now we move over to this one on the Vanguard newspapers, and this one says Ramadan, 9 die, 30 injured at sharing of Salah packages. Now, this report has it that the PDP has called on security agencies to investigate the alleged stampede that took place in the residence of the Sokoto State APC leader, Senator Aliyu Wamako. This report has it that he had gathered people together to give them packages for Salah, Ramadan at his residence. And one thing led to another, maybe lack of orderliness, people not willing to take instructions, and it led to a stampede. And about 9 people died and 30 people sustained various degrees of injuries, including security personnel who were on ground to control the crowd. They were also involved. And now PDP is having to call on security agencies to say, go look into this particular incident that has happened. I mean, after the conversation of what happened at the custom during the sale of that cheap rice that caused issues, I've seen a couple of other videos whereby people are also trying to gather people together to come give them stuff, and there's no orderliness. Again, it just goes to show you the level of poverty in the land. I saw a video sometime last week of people being asked to queue to collect something. And I looked at, again, let's do not misconstrue what I'm about to say. I'm not saying that if you have enough to give out to people, do not give regardless of how small. What I'm going to say is the quantity of what is being given to these people, like the quality of what is being given to them. If you were comfortable enough, trust me, Miracle, you won't spend time going to collect that package. But there are people who, that particular package will make a lot of difference in their life, even if it's just for a day. But giving people stuff and not being able to treat them with dignity, being able to organize them. Yes, I know that Nigerians too, we have issues when it comes to taking instructions, stay here, they won't stay and all of that. But you can actually put these measures in place, Adeyemi.
Thank you, Esther. What you're talking about is a pathetic situation. And it has to do with the fact that this is exactly what these people want the Nigerian people to be. They actually want Nigerian people to be beggars before them, to always look up to them. I remember vividly while growing up way back then, Nigerians, we don't go out to solicit for anything from the other person. In the course of Ramadan like this, all that happens is that you cook in your house, no matter how small it is. You share with other people. Your children will go to their friends' home, they'll eat, they'll come back. You don't see people going about, going to look for arms or beg for food or beg for one palliative or the other from anybody. But because they want to continue to overload Nigerians, because they want to continue to be the one cutting the shots, dictating for us that we continue to look up to them as savior. That is why we are in this state. That is why you see that the government so far, let's go back to 40 years backward, till date, they have not been able to do anything meaningful for the Nigerian people, so that Nigerian people will always see them as God. But one thing they have not forgotten is that they can never be God forever. That day is coming, the day of reckoning, that the situation will change, that the goalpost will change. That day is coming, because I see no reason why. Because okay, let's even look at it. A one-time governor, a senator, why he was the governor of that state, what was he able to do in that Sokoto state that could have helped the situation of the ordinary Sokoto indigene, that by now they will be living and saying, oh, for Governor so in during his tenure, the businesses and everything in that area was moving. And if that has happened then, this number of people that have gone out to seek for what it was about distributing, that people have to die in the course of it, it wouldn't happen. That's the truth. You see, it is time that we as a people, we need to hold all our government functionaries accountable. The governor of Lagos State, the governor of Sokoto State, the governor of all the 36 states, including the Federal Capital Territory, in the person of the minister, Wilson Wike, and also all the House of Assembly and National House of Assembly members, and the local government chairmen, and all the personnel accountable. It is time. They cannot continue to mess us. And we also will be allowing them to continue to mess us up. They are messing us. They are just killing the morale of the people. Let's look at it. What is the number of the palliatives that was even made available to these people compared to the numbers of people that could have gone out on that day? That stampede could happen. That means that the numbers of people that you had there were more than enough. Were far more above the palliatives that were provided. That's the implication. And yet, we also, as a people, Nigerians, we need to do something about ourselves too. What are those things that we need to do? We also, as a people, must be able to coordinate ourselves. But I wouldn't blame these people, because when you look at when you are able to see the numbers of palliative that is ahead, and you are looking at it, if I stay behind, this thing may not get to me. And perhaps you are hungry, and you have children at home that are hungry, and you feel, this is an opportunity to have something for the children to eat back home. So you see, a lot of this is wrong. A lot of this is wrong. I can't blame the people, because they have subjected us to poverty, that our psyche, we cannot even think straight anymore. The only thing we think about now is how to eat. That's how terrible the situation is. We don't think of how to get out of the mess, because they said when you are hungry, the first thing that comes to your mind is how to make sure you are able to get something to eat. So that is what happens. So that's the reason why you see people running after them. But until we are able to stand up as a people to these people and ask for accountability of our resources that are in their hands, and until we are able to stand our ground, that nobody among them will continue to flaunt affluence any house, which implies that it is that which belongs to all of us, that this individual are not flaunting to oppress us. Until we are able to stand to that, they will continue to have this problem of stampeding everywhere. There's no way people will not be stampede. That's the truth. Because when the palliatives or whatever you are providing for these people is not up to the numbers that are available, then you will see that there will be rush one way or the other, because everybody wants to have opportunity to grab one thing or the other in the course of it.
True. Adeyemi, thank you very much, Adeyemi, for your comment and lending your voice to this one. Really, this sad report and different occurrences of people losing their life all in a bid to get some package that would not last them for so long, and we keep getting this different report, and we're asking that the people who are going to be doing this, you should do better. That you're giving people stuff doesn't mean you just reduce them to nothing. And again, if you had the means, those are not even the kind of places you want to go to, or those are not even the kind of packages you really want to collect. Like I would not leave my space to go to certain spaces to do certain things. That's just because to an extent I can, but there are people who cannot, and you leave them with no option really. So yes, I mean, that's just it. Thank you very much, Adeyemi, for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. Do have a wonderful day. There we have it from Adeyemi Adeolu. The phone lines are open 07000 917 917. You can also send us a text or a WhatsApp message on 070 317 56537. My name is Esther Alaribi, and I have with me
Miracle Philip.
Yes, this morning, and we're having to do this together, Esther and Miracle. We'll be looking at some of the text and WhatsApp messages that we have here. Let's hear what Nigerians think about this one.
Yes, our first message here is this is coming from Olushoka Ajayi from Ikorodu. Says, and the unfortunate thing is that Nigeria is at the level of microeconomy society, not like developed worlds. Multiple VATs or taxations strangulate such economies like Nigeria. It's like the masses offended this government. May God help us. Coming here from this is from Barrister Ugo Osuji from Festac. Says, good morning, WFM, Esther, Miracle, and the analyst. Esther, banters of switching off deep freezers, so air conditioners, before one leaves his house is not illiterate. Nay, miosis with regards to constant electricity supply with high tariffs that are nowhere to be seen. Suffice to say that Nigerians had been in darkness for the past 1 week now and continuing in Easter celebration and the coming Eid al-Fitr. Who will dispel this gloom than God Almighty of the poor Nigerians that never sleeps? As Nigerians are prayerful, nay, praying mantis, that this government is still mooting another idea of identification for Nigerians again, barring NIN, BVN, that are all inoperative in curbing insecurity and catching kidnappers, presupposes that the next identification, the third one, is RIP. What an Orwellian prose Animal Farm government. On continuing threats of terrorism, banditry, gunmen, and kidnappers wreaking havoc in Borno, Zamfara, and now Taraba, university students kidnappers demanding 50 million naira. All are signs of a failed state. No doubt as Nigeria's state nears Afghanistan and Sudanese experiment in the making already. On Peter Obi continuing deorderizing the Labour Party with his presence than leaving it for the NLC President Joe Ajero, Pa Lamidi Apapa, and Arabami to test their popularity beggars description. Let Peter Obi not lose his finer values, as no one wrestles with a pig and remains clean. Peter Obi has his name as honor, and if the honor is gone, then high time he sang his NUNC or swan song. Last performance in politics, I humbly submit. Thank you very much, Barrister Osuji. Here from Rosenje Olawale from Alakwere says, good morning, dear presenters. It's unfortunate Nigerians don't want to change from being Nigerians, but want a great nation out of the woods. A convicted kidnapper being given an heroic welcome shows how far we are from good values and morals. We have all placed what we will eat and money over good morals and values. Until we change what we are known for, nothing will change for good in the country. Bad followers will never produce good leaders. Nigeria will survive. This here is coming from Destiny from Ikorodu says, good morning, WFM family. Esther Miraculous Miracle and Mr. Adeyemi. Esther, it's been a while. Hope you have been going out to chop your money.
Destiny, which money did they chop? I'm not going anywhere. Dear, so because even small air like this, it remains small. We go to pay for them. I beg. I'm not
Esther,
going
would
anywhere.
you like to join? I would like to join you in not talking about things that are not working and focus on the things that are working. Using this platform to say a big thank you to Jimmy Benson for the work he's doing for the people of Ikorodu, saying God bless him. I was opportune to visit some part of Agric in Ikorodu, and I saw the inner roads with drainages he's constructing and was amazed. God bless him real good. For the 3 identity cards to be introduced, Mr. Adeyemi has set my mind. Someone wants to cash out a bit because billions will be budgeted for that project. God bless Nigeria. And this is coming from Margaret from College Road, Ogba. Says, good morning, presenters. We don't need extra identity cards. We have national ID card, BVN, voters card. So of what use is a new card? They should stop wasting our collective resources. Thanks for the opportunity to contribute. Thank you very much, Margaret.
All right. Thank you very much, Miracle, as well, for taking our text and WhatsApp messages. We have joining us now Nkechi Emmanuel Signal. Hi, Signal. How are you doing? But before we start, I really hope that you remember to turn off your freezer. And besides, do you know what band your house is on for electricity? Because it looks like my own areas looks like we've been abandoned. Because I don't know what band you're currently at. Hi, Signal. Good to hear from you this morning.
Good morning.
Yes,
good morning,
morning.
Esther. Good morning, Miracle.
Good morning, Safe
I
now.
hope that you're doing well today. Good morning to our amazing listeners.
Yes, we're doing great. We're doing fine.
Across the globe. Thank you for having me this morning.
Yes, thank you.
I'm not sure if the question Esther was asking is directed to me or if she was just.
It's for you, Sydney, please. The question is for you because I mean this whole situation around electricity in recent times, people being aware of what band is what, and people having to complain about how electricity has really gotten bad in some areas. Some people having to talk about 4 to 6 hours, and some people don't even have at all. So there's really no point when we say we're increasing tariffs. Yes, I know, okay, the band A kind of thing. How many people even fall into that? But the people who are even talking about the other bands that they fall into are not even meeting up with the target, and they still get to pay the same cost. Who is actually looking into it to say, okay, if this was not used in a day, somebody made some kind of analogy trying to explain that if for any reason we're supposed to be giving, say, 20 hours of electricity in a day, and we're giving just 8, do you carry it over? Do I not need to pay like for other days? Or you're going to just terminate my light whenever like there's just so much to say about this one, really.
That's why we need to be big on systems and enforcement. We've seen this whole electricity thing. Well, in Lagos, for instance, I know so many parts. I know that there may be parts where they are still struggling, but there are parts in Lagos where their lights are way, way better. So the next thing that needs to be done is to put systems. But Lagos is not Nigeria. There are so many other places in Nigeria as well where the lights is very terrible. Like they don't even, like you were saying, oh, why some people are having, some people don't even have, some people cannot even believe that some people are living in some area based on the way that light is being distributed to them. We've got to look at this holistically before we then now start saying, oh, this is what we want to do. Or if you want to do it, then maybe you specify specific areas. But beyond this, I really look forward to the day where electricity will no longer be our problem in this nation, because it's quite but I was listening to somebody review the power grid thing falling down and the way the person said in 2024, it was funny, but I got the person's points. Like, is this what we're still struggling with at this particular time? So that one is even a different conversation entirely, but we have to have it. If we don't have it here, where are we going to have it? So I hope that beyond all of these tariffs and billing, they are able to build systems, and we are also able to move to the place where we can power up our nation. because it's one of the most basic things we need to move ahead.
Yeah, true. I agree. Thank you very much, Signal. Yes, Miracle, let's look at another report this morning.
Yes, this one is coming from the Guardian newspaper, and you highlighted that we did that during the newspaper headlines, but it's still this. Police officers face sanction for demanding bribe from Lagos drone operator. Now, two police officers were seen on a viral video demanding bribes from a drone operator on Ikoyi Lekki Bridge, and they are to be sanctioned accordingly. This is coming from the spokesperson for Lagos State Police Command, SP Benjamin Hundeyin, who confirmed this development in a statement as of yesterday. Now, the two officers were said to be attached to Mopo 49, were spotted on the video demanding a permit from the drone operator and thereafter resorted to demanding bribes from the man since he could not produce a permit to operate a drone. Now, according to the police spokesperson, Hundeyin, the police officers acted within the ambit of the law, but added that their actions became unprofessional when they resorted to demanding bribes from the operator, as seen at the tail end of the video. Now, he said, and I quote, has stated, for that element of unprofessionalism, the officers will be disciplined. Now, let's look at this particular situation. It's something that has been reoccurring. It's been a much talked about conversation about police taking bribes, security personnel taking bribes. Does it mean that this particular message hasn't been drummed enough into their ears for implementation? Because why mix your work ethic with unprofessionalism, like the spokesperson said?
You know, as you were reading the reports, Miracle, I was just smiling and I was just laughing because there's so many places that this is still happening. There's just nothing to capture it. There's no drone, there's no secret camera, no car cam, no nothing. And then this is happening all the time. And of course, it goes unreported because you just move through. You're just going to move through. There's so many places in Lagos, under bridges, all of the. If they want to, if Benjamin Udain truly wants to go and look for it, no, just dress as a regular Nigerian. Go to through different under bridges. Just go there. They are there demanding money left,
if
right,
SB
center.
Benjamin is also not careful, they probably would tax him before they even know that he's
Thank
their colleague.
you. Thank you. Yes, it will also be asked. It will also, when he wears his normal, of course, the citizen uniform, just normal clothing, they will even ask him if care is not taken.
Of course.
They will ask him so many. And isn't it the situation that late, I can't remember her name now, the lady who just very, very sad incident, but I just need to bring it back. I can't remember her name, but she was a mom who mistakenly, according to this report, was mistakenly shot by that officer that new year. I think it was 2022,
Okay, yes,
January
I
1st
remember.
or so. Yes, the woman who was pregnant at the time going to a restaurant with the children, based on all this, oh, give us something, don't give us something. So I went back there because if something as fatal as that had happened, you would think that, oh my God, like, wow, you would think everything will end. But here is the reason why it is not ending. It is because the problem has to be solved from the roots. When I was hearing, according to Miracle's report, reading SP Udain saying things like, I'm going to, there will be sanctioned. I'm like, yeah, this one's, I don't know, whatever sanction, maybe suspension, whatever it is they're going to do, they'll come back. But there are many of them that are still out there. And what's the root cause? The root cause is our value system. You know what? I've gotten comfortable with repeating things. I'm not going to say, oh, I've said it before, until we get it, because the fact that you've said it before doesn't mean that we've gotten it. This value system thing that we need to build in our nation has to be a thing that will come from the foundation. So let's talk about the police force. So it's not too big, it's not too gigantic for us to not comprehend. If we want to talk about building, if we want to talk about changing the narrative of this bribery and all these things we're always talking about every 2 market days, then it has to start from the foundation of what does the police force stand for? What is their core values? And what is the measurement for how they live it out? And what are the, and let's even leave with our leaders and all that, but how are they measuring that you're living out these core values, whatever, integrity, protection of life, all of those things? I'm sure that we have it, but I'm saying, so how is it being inculcated daily? We've got to learn from other people and other countries if we don't know how to do it. This is because, and I said it the last time I was here, many people who come into to become the police force, some of these people, it's not like, oh, maybe it was their first choice or something. It was okay, oh, it's available. I heard that there is an opening for this. They say they are training. Okay, so they just come in, and they come in with just, they don't really have all these value systems. They're honest, oh, I want to make it, and this is a job. Okay, where you to need some physical rigor. All right, let me get into it. And sometimes these people then get transformed. Some other times these people continue with the value system they already came in with, and of course it gets spoiled along the line. So we've got to have that measurement, and we've got to have that reiteration. Another thing is, what is the compensation system like? I know after NSAS there were talks, and even though the talk, I'm not sure what it really means in substance. Where their salaries increased, what kind of compensation do they have? What kind of houses and what kind of opportunities are these people given? These are things that, so this is not to say, oh, you should don't be content, but I'm saying it's for us to review it and look at it. What makes this person not content? We've spoken about value system and instilling it, but what are the things that makes this person not? Is a person hungry? Does the person feel like it's going to be like a milestone achievement before they can get a car? These are things we need to have serious conversations about, because you just keep somebody on the road and maybe the person just has 50,000 in his account, doesn't have a car, maybe a small bike, is struggling with school fees. Then you're just on the road feeling like, do your work, do your work. Some of these things are not realistic. They are not realistic if we are not facing the truth. It's not a different case if, oh, you've done the needful, the things that needs to be done for a particular person, and then the person is still behaving a certain way. Of course, then you make a good example of such people all over the nation, not just in Lagos. So I think that over there we are still struggling with what does compensation look like at this particular time. That's one. And secondly, this value system thing, the average person, sorry to say, I have to say, I know it's not pleasant to everybody, average Nigerian, not Nigerian, but that's not what I even wanted to say. Policeman doesn't really care. They don't care. I've experienced them. I'm not talking from the facts or things that I don't know. They don't care. Like, I beg, oh, do something for me. You are busy thinking, they are holding for, they're just busy like, hey, my own pocket, anything for me. And you have to like be wise and intelligent in relating with these people. So there's still an underlying thing that needs to be done in terms of orientation. Something is still foundationally wrong. If not, before you know, you're going to lay everybody off of the force. You will lay everybody off with sanction and suspension, and something is always happening. Then there will be nobody left. So that would be my submission, to submit to them to deal with it from the roots, and also check out what's going on with their compensation. Ask them, is there a money problem? Let's find ways to solve it so that these people do not keep extorting other people.
Well, really. I mean, Sejna, you've just said it. And I don't think it's just a thing with the Nigerian police force. I think it is something that is fundamentally wrong with us as a society. So you see what you just spoke about having to lay off every single person. When you look at different sectors, when you look at different organizations, trust me when I say you feel the same way as well. So just this morning, there's this transaction I've been trying to track with a particular financial institution that went wrong, and they've not just been forthcoming. And every time I speak to somebody, like, oh, give us a call back, I had to remind the person that I spoke to this morning that, first off, your call is not toll free. I'm spending money trying to track money that is within your system. To think that this is an intra-bank transaction that you still cannot seem to trace and tell me what the update is. Then the lady I was speaking to, for some reason, I would explain everything that transpired. Then she would go ahead to say every other thing but what I said, and goes ahead to ask me if I heard you correctly. I'm like, you obviously did not hear me correctly. I would say the same thing, explain it, break it down. She would still pick up some bits of the information and still ask me, I hope I got this right. I'm like, what exactly is going on? Like, it wasn't even 7 a.m. that morning. And I intentionally called on a Monday morning, so they know that I was standing on business. Like, I wasn't joking, because I was tired. How much is the transaction I'm trying to track? I'm having to spend so much money calling and all. It just goes to show you like how the system is. You walk into some organizations as well. From the receptionist already has some kind of look that tells you like you don't need to be here already. Then even if somebody is going to come to attend to you, is somebody just dragging their feet and shrugging. And there's some things that I see when I go to like some organizations or like trying to transact with some businesses or something. And I'm like if I were to be the owner of this business, I don't think I want to keep this person because this is just me, one customer. I would go out and tell my family members, I would tell my friends, you don't know how many more customers that you've lost. Now, when you bring it into the police force, there's some people who have not had direct experience with the police, but they already have a backlog already of experiences from other people's experience or what they have seen. So before you even engage them, they're already defensive because I know that you will speak to me this way. I know that you will do something like this already. And it just goes to show you where our values are as a nation, really. And it's a sad thing to see that over time we still get to continue the same way and nothing is changing.
Exactly. And I like the way you took it to just in the whole national thing. I think that value system and vision thing is something we seriously need to work on. Well, starting from our individual organizations, our communities, even our families. Some families do not think they're responsible for building the nation, but you are, based on what you're producing in your home. So once we start there, we do not feel helpless. We do not feel hopeless. We now start there now pushing for the corporate one, which is the national one, so that things are just taken more seriously and people can uphold these values. That's a different conversation entirely, but let's just stop there because value system decadence in this era is a conversation all by itself.
Yeah, true. I agree. Like it's a different conversation entirely.
And this conversation actually makes me remember back then as a primary school student how our social studies teachers would say the forms of socialization, the cadre. You see that the family is the topmost right there, and it's a very important part of shaping how our society. So if we fail in our societies, we failed on a larger scale.
Yeah, but I mean, going back to what Sijin has said, a lot of families really do not think that this is where it starts from. And I'll give you an example. So I was talking to somebody who so this is funny, but yes. So I was talking to somebody who was looking at dating somebody. And these two people were of like opposing values. Like these two people are entirely different. So I was trying to tell this person that I know that yes, away from you feeling all lovey-dovey about this person. Like, look at the bigger picture. You and this person, people will not be able to see eye to eye on a lot of things. I mean, yes, you cannot always be the same way as your partner, but there's certain things that should be your non-negotiables. Like, you should not be bringing anybody into your life that do not fit into this bracket. And the person was like, you know how we can work. I'm like, okay. No, while I'm going to be here when you come back to come and say what is not, because we think that as a human being, you can change another person. You cannot. Now, talking about the family, you go ahead with whatever you have planned with this person. Then you are looking to raise another set of individual. And today you're telling this child, oh, do this. And the other parent is saying, no, you will not do this one. You do that one. You end up confusing the child. You're not instilling anything in the child. Then tomorrow you're not asking yourself, where did we lose our value? You lost it when you were engaging the person. That was exactly where you lost it. So it's a whole lot.
You've just spoken to the heart of my heart. Please, can you just create a conversation? Let's have this 1 hour conversation on radio.
We should,
because this thing that you've spoken about, I don't like that you're not going to say, okay, we need to go now, because to me, we are just starting. You have to do it. No, you are owing me, Esther. This quarter, you have to create something. And it's not that we are going now. We will sit down and talk about this from dating to family, because people don't get it. They I love you. I'm feeling romantic. We need to help to tie this thread so that people can really understand.
Yeah.
So please, Miracle, you need to disturb Esther. She's owing me. Because now she will now say, oh,
don't worry, I'm owing this one.
okay, we have to go now. We are going now when you just started the conversation.
Don't worry. And we'll come back to remind our newspaper review family when this is going to happen, so they can also benefit from that conversation. Because I mean, in this era that we find ourselves, the dating pool out there is not funny, and
it gets worse every day.
Yeah, like you meet some people and you're like, you're just speaking English. Like there's really no content or value to you. We're just speaking English, in my opinion, and that's not what I'm all about. So that's not it. I mean, stay far away from me, really. But all the same, we'll still keep talking. Thank you very much, Sage Nell. Thank you for being on the program.
Thank you very
today.
much, Sage Nell.
Yes. Thank you, Miracle. Thank you, Esther. Have a great week ahead.
Thank you. You too. There we have it. And yes, Miracle. Just like Sage Nell said, follow up.
Yes.
Chase up.
It's not me and you again. Okay.
All right. There we have it on the newspaper review this morning. Do well to join us again tomorrow at 7:30 as we're going to be reviewing the dailies across the Nigerian newspapers. And as always, you can connect with us via our social media platforms at WFM 917. And you can listen to us live from any part of the world via the website www.wfm917.com. And you can also download the mobile app to listen live, WFM 917. My name is Esther Alaribi, and yes, I've had with me
Miracle Philip.
There we have it. So do well to join us on Panorama at 9:05. Do have a wonderful day, and don't forget to turn off your freezer. Don't say I said so.
Have you been a victim of corruption? Do you want to report how corruption affects you and your community? Send an SMS or WhatsApp message to 0703 175 6537.
Hello, come and be a landowner this 2024. Yes, so become a landowner in Oyi Estate, Shimawa, off Redemption